Danny Worsfold, pro boxer, pro bare-knuckle fighter, and all-round lovely person. I've just started training camp for my next fight, which will be a boxing fight. It's July the 25th on the O2 Indigo. For me, in my early 20s, I went to prison for a couple of years.
Yeah.
When I come out, I wanted to make up for lost time. And then from that one fight is all I wanted has turned into 20 years of fighting amateur, unlicensed, pro, and obviously pro bare-knuckle. So,
a lot of people
so for people that don't know, we're brothers. Do you know what? Like, I ain't had a dull moment in my life ever since I was born. I don't like that. You know, I want to look back and hopefully be able to remember it.
Welcome back to the Allow Bruh podcast. In today's episode, we have a very special guest. Who do we have?
You have me, Danny Worsfold, pro boxer, pro bare-knuckle fighter, and all-round lovely person.
So you can tell us a little bit about yourself. We're fighting. What campaign you're in?
Well, if like, I mean, just at the minute, I've just started training camp for my next fight, which will be a boxing fight. It's July the 25th on the O2 Indigo. It's on the undercard of Tony Giles versus Victor Ortiz, who was obviously a world champion, fought Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest welterweights in the last 20 odd years.
Big fight.
And Shane Mosley's obviously on the card as well, and he was one of the greatest lightweights ever. And so for me,
Shane Mosley.
Yeah, for me, it's a real privilege to be on their cards. I'm looking forward to it. So that's where I'm at the minute.
Amazing. How long have you been fighting for?
Too long.
And what made you get into?
Do you know what? Okay, let's start from the beginning. How I got into boxing. For me, I never boxed as a kid. But it's one of them ones, you know, there's so many people that don't box, but they wish they did. And you always wish you'd box. For me, in my early 20s, I went to prison for a couple of years.
Yeah.
When I come out, I wanted to make up for lost time. So I just wanted to do something I always wish I'd done. And a lot of people have, I don't know, it's like a fear of joining a boxing gym late, whether you think everyone's going to be so much more advanced. And it holds people back from joining.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd come out of prison and I thought, you know what, I want to have a fight. Just one fight. That's all I wanted. One.
He's not getting enough in there.
we had one or two, but yeah.
Is that where you learned bare-knuckle?
No. I learned bare-knuckle way before that.
Yeah.
But I come out of prison. I went to a boxing gym, and my first session there, they said, "Look, do you want to have an unlicensed fight in 10 weeks?" In your head's like saying no. But what comes out your mouth as a man is yes. So I ran into that one, beat the fella very, very easily. He was quite an accomplished fella. Mm-hmm. And then from that one fight is all I wanted has turned into 20 years of fighting amateur, unlicensed, pro, and obviously pro bare-knuckle. So yeah, that one fight turned out quite well. Yeah.
So you sort of took that risk. What age was he when you done that?
I think about 24. So I didn't have my first fight at 24. I've been in boxing gyms as a kid, but I don't think I ever properly jumped in the boxing gym until I was 24. And last year,
that's still quite young though.
It is.
Kind of.
Do you know what? Now looking back, 24 is young.
Yeah.
But back then, when you're 24, you're thinking these people have been doing it since they're 10 years old. I'm way past it. And listen, if anyone thinks like that, don't. Get yourself, if you want to box, get down there. Don't care what age you are.
So you're saying it's never too late?
It's never too late. Listen, 39 years old, I was fighting pro in Europe. You don't get better with age, I'm going to be honest with you. But it's the point, age means nothing. Yeah. Keep yourself fit. If you want to do something, do it.
Yeah. That's the way to go, I guess. Yeah, definitely.
I think it is. Listen, fear stops people for whatever reason, and pushing through that and facing that's the best bit in life.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Whereas so many people miss out on all that good. Listen, if I had listened to myself, my fear and all this, and not joined the boxing gym, I wouldn't have had the amazing career that I've had. I've been boxing 6, 7 different countries. You know what it is as well?
A lot of people don't realise, go into a gym and box and you don't actually have to fight.
No.
I think that's another thing people fear when they go to a gym.
Do you know what? I feel that a lot of people think that if they go there and they're not very good or they're not accomplished, people are going to look down on them. Or
No, not at all.
boxing gyms are the most inclusive places. Like, if you see a new beginner come in, like you're more than happy to lend a hand,
of course.
help him out, give him tips. They're so inclusive, but I think there's a stigma around boxing gyms that you know, for some reason people think they're like bad atmospheres, or they don't want to go in there and show themselves up. But it really, really isn't like that. They're wonderful places. That's all it is. Learning. That's exactly it.
So how many fights have you had in total then?
I have no idea.
Lost count. What about professional? Do you reckon you could remember professional?
Yeah, no, I've only had 7 pro fights.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 in Berlin.
I was going to say, yeah, because you said about Europe.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were fighting.
Oh no, I've had 3 in Berlin, 3 in Malta, 1 in Rome. Berlin's brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm going to tell you a story in Berlin now. Berlin is one of the most crazy places there is, and I'd been out there 3 times, and I think on the third, and I'd met. He was if he's watching this, he knows exactly who he is. I met an Afghani fella out there who was a boxer. I think on the third time over there, it was the Fury fight.
Yeah.
So me and a pal are going, listen, do you know anywhere we can watch the boxing? He's going, my brother, you come to my bar. So we're like, oh, right, we'll have a go at this.
Yeah.
Went to his bar, it's like a scene from Taken. No, I'm not even joking. It was shisha pipes, every evil looking bastard, and you're going, oh my God, where are we? He stood up, he said, everything on the house. It was the best night I've ever had. We walked in every bar, it was absolutely wonderful. Brilliant people, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh mate, it was it was an absolute terrific night. But yeah, from the start, you thought if you walked through the wrong door, they'd been filming ransom videos out back.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I'd sort of go near that. So your next fight?
Yeah. I'm fighting someone called Bashir Fakuri. He's quite popular on Instagram. I think he's one of these no holds bars fighters, no rules, goes around. I think he's bit someone's ear off in a fight.
I've watched
eye gouging. Yeah,
stuff on
Bash. He's quite well known. He's got quite a big following.
How old is he?
Older than me. Yeah, he's pretty much in the same position as I am. Really, we're both getting on. And I think we've both been given this. I mean, the opportunity of fighting on this card is just absolutely unbelievable. So both me and him, hopefully he's training hard, and we get to grab it with both hands, and hopefully me and him can steal the show, because there is a lot of good fights up there. You've got
there is
Armstrong Martins versus Matt Floyd, Tony Giles versus Victor Ortiz, which is huge.
So when you get, I ain't saying you're old. I think 30. I think 39 young.
I am as old as dirt. I look like I've been dug up.
No, you don't. You look like a Love Island.
I was trying to get you to say that.
They're going to chuck you on Love Island.
I was fishing. Oh, I better tell me Mrs.
Over 30s though. No, I'm joking.
No.
As you get older, do you get a little bit more worried when you're fighting?
No, less worried, which is probably worse.
So you get more confident.
Yes and no. Do you know what? It's a funny one. Before every single fight I ever had, I wanted my opponent to pull out. It's anyone that tells you don't get nerves and it's that before the show you're going, please, I hope he falls down the stairs and everything. I'm walking, but as you're walking up to the ring, you're like, all right, here we go, no turning back now.
Yeah.
But when they ring that bell, that's what you do. That's what I'm trained to do. That's what I'm good at. I mean, they'll throw a punch and you go, that weren't too quick. They'll hit you and you go, that weren't too hard. That's what I'm good at. But beforehand, I mean, there was
Do you still get that now?
Well, I've had about 20 fights in the last 2 years. Probably not as much. But I tell you what, I fought over in Hatfield once, and the fella he was only a skinny fella, and I walked down, I've seen him, I thought, easy work. For 2 hours before the fight, he sat in the change room near me going, I'm born to do this. After half hour, I thought, maybe he is.
No.
Shit.
So is it more of a sense of when fighters talk, does it get inside?
Well, for me it did. I'm thinking I'm going to get ironed right out here by this skinny fellow who's born to do it. I thought I was banging trouble. Everyone's got his T-shirts on. Team Hussein, his name was, and I'm going, crap. I'd done him in the first round. It was terrible. But
so you weren't born to do it.
No, you weren't born to do it. No.
But what you're saying is the fight still
beforehand, I'm thinking I'd gone in there from like the moment I looked at him. I thought easy. Within a half hour of him going, I'm born to do it, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get killed. But yeah, the reality, when you fight, listen, the reality is never as bad as the expectation, is it really? I mean, the thought of something is always worse.
Yeah.
That brings me on to my other question. Did you prefer fighting 20 years ago when you first started, or do you prefer it now as you're getting older?
I've never preferred it. I didn't love.
But like, there's probably highlight moments of
my best times. I was lucky. You know what? I was lucky enough to have had a real Indian summer with my career, kind of thing. Like, as a kid, I was in and out. I'd fight a few times. People would pull out. I'd be in the pub. I'd go on a mission list for a year or two. And I wasn't the most dedicated. I actually got back in. I'd actually retired. I think I was 27. I thought, I can't be bothered anymore. And I think I was out of it for quite a few years. And I'll tell you why I actually started boxing. I broke up my missus at the time. And I'd been on a 3-month bender, like drinking bad. I've been 3-4 nights, no sleep, one night, that sort of thing. And someone said, look, Danny, do you want to fight in 8 weeks? And I thought, yeah, that's what I need to train for. Didn't train a day. Drunk the whole way through it. Morning of the fight, I was drinking vodka for breakfast. I was beers for lunch. I was in the crowd drinking whiskey. And I fought a really, really hard kid. But we drew the fight. And after that, I thought, stop wasting your time. And I went jogging the next day. And from then on, the opportunities that have come my way, I was British unlicensed champion. Obviously, I got the chance to fight pro in, you know, all these beautiful countries, and they paid me a lot of money. To answer your question, later on in life, I've had so much. I've enjoyed it more, I think.
Do you think that because you were doing that sort of stuff there, you probably just needed a bit of structure? And the boxing was your structure.
I think structure is so important for not just boxing, anything. Routine, structure, routine. Well, you only have to not going to look. But through COVID, when no one's working, everyone's losing their minds. You need a structure. You need a routine in your day. I do personally. If I haven't got routine, I'm terrible. I'm lawless. I need some sort of.
That's what's so like magic about boxing now. It's boxing itself. It's not just the fitness, it's not everything else, but it's more like battling your mind as well.
It is. However, you have the other thing, like, so for a boxing fight, that's for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, you're focused on one thing. You've got everything planned, everything structured. So when you have that fight, everything's gone again. And if anything, the fall off is always harder. That's why we keep fighting, because that's all we know.
No, it's crazy. I never actually looked at it like that.
But you know, when you win, it's never like joy, jubilation. It's relief. You're like, oh, thank God, that's because you've spent the whole 10 weeks obsessed over one thing. It's relief, that's done with. And then the next day you wake up and you just feel
hungry.
What? It's not even hungry, it's what now?
So you're chasing another relief.
It's not, I don't know. I don't know if it's you have no goal. For 10 weeks, I've had one goal. That goal's gone. And then you're
what's the next thing?
People are, people that fight, I can't just go, oh, how about just be happy and go to work? I'm not built like that. I need something.
You need structure.
I need structure. I need something to train towards. And I feel that's probably why I've found it so hard to retire from boxing. Also, because I keep getting lovely opportunities, and they want to pay me to visit some countries, which is always nice.
Of course.
I'll be honest with you.
It's a bit of a dream, really.
Well, someone phoned me up. They said, would you do an MMA fight in Copenhagen? I was like, absolutely, I would. Like,
was that recently?
Last year. It's a couple of thousand, maybe I think 1,500, 1,800 quid. I was like, yes. And I've told my missus, she goes, Danny, you have never done MMA. I said, Sean,
I'll give it a go.
I said, Sean, I said, if you're going to pay me money and fly me to a country, I'll joust. Get me on a horse with a stick. I don't care if I've never done it. You're paying me money and visiting a country, I will do it. MMA, jousting, whatever it is, I'm fighting. I'll be 80 years old and still flying out to these countries. You want to pay me money?
When you're retired, absolutely.
That's crazy.
So what was it like growing up for you? Up until, because we only heard about you from 24.
To be fair, it was, I think for a boy growing up, it's...
You get into a lot of fights. Is that what sort of...
No, not as such, really. I was quite a small kid. And I think I left between leaving school and like the prom, I think I grew like 5-6 inches. And over the next couple of years, you put on a bit of muscle.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you then put on a bit of muscle, all the people remembered you when you were small. Were like, "Oh, they think you're hard now. You're bigger."
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't really, because I come from an area where we all knew each other.
Yeah.
So you already, you know, you was always fine. You always, I mean, listen, there was fights. Of course, there was fights. Like, but them stories, every single boy could probably tell the same.
Yeah.
There was nothing special. And then, you know, you get into a certain way of life, which may or may not be legal. Prison happened, and then but there was nothing special or bad about growing up. I wasn't one of these kids that go, I was bullied, so I wanted to prove everyone wrong. It's nothing like that. It was just quite a normal
life, basically.
Normal life.
Yeah.
I just wasn't normal. So it was a normal life, but for me, that didn't really fit.
Yeah, makes sense.
But this is the first time you two have met each other.
Yeah.
Well, we've met, but
yes,
never actually sat down.
A lot of people
So for people that don't know, we're brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another reason I was going to say on camera. That's why I've kind of let him do more questions, because I do know a lot about it.
Yeah.
Even though
you tell me about my childhood. You tell me about my family.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, no. Well, when I got the message the other day, because obviously I got it from your channel, and it said, "I've spoke to our sister Nikki." Hey, to our sister Nikki.
Who's this twat?
Our sister Nikki. I mean, at first my thought was Mark. But then obviously Nikki had then messaged me as well. But we're family. So
that's why I was.
It's a bit strange for you two to be seeing.
That's why I'm kind of letting you question, talk, and I'm just a bit.
What a family for you called me up and
exactly.
and I'll come down on the podcast with Tony Giles and Armstrong Martin. So there we go.
What did you think of him? Because he's so tall.
Do you know what? When I got out of the car then...
you saw me the day your dad picked us up from the market.
Yeah, from you were Essex and you brought us back from Pie Mash. Yeah. But I don't remember you being that tall. I got out of the car, I was going, Jesus. Because obviously I know Joe. And Joe ain't the tallest, but obviously it's, the reason.
But Joe's brother, Frankie, he's taller.
Yeah, he's Dad's cookie, wasn't he?
He's like 6'1".
He's still in Canada. No, he come back.
Yeah, he come back.
No, Frankie, he's a lovely kid.
Yeah, he's a good kid. But anyways, back to...
Yeah, sorry. That's the family,
Now they've acquainted each other.
I thought that Armstrong was my brother as well.
He was a lovely fella.
Seems like everybody's...
But yeah, listen, what a family's for. I do you the fact, listen, you called me up.
I appreciate that.
I'll bring £100,000, 100,000 followers between the pair of me. Name it, Tony.
So what's next after you fight this guy? You're fighting now.
Right.
What's his name again?
Bashir Fakuri. He's known as Bash. He's very, very well known. I think he flies over Germany as them. No, he's bit someone's ear off for the fight. Are
you and him, you're all right? You're like sort of friends before the...
No, never met him before in my life. But I have spoke to him on the phone.
Yeah.
You know what? I know he does... I've seen him at a lot of press conferences. He goes steaming in there and causing trouble. I'm not sure how much of that's for show. Pardon me, sorry. But I've spoke to him on the phone and...
he's all right.
He seems like a lovely fella. I think in the boxing game, most people are. You do get one or two dickheads, but by and large, most people are just, we're there to fight.
Yeah,
I never got all that beforehand when you're trying to argue with someone, someone's saying stuff at a way and go, we're fighting later.
You seem like the fighter, you don't really care. You just want to go in there.
Well, we're gonna fight in an hour. I'm like, we'll find out then. Stop talking. We're having a punch up soon, mate.
You know when they do that, builds press though, doesn't it?
But do you know what?
The media.
Is that why they do it? Though?
Yeah.
No, do you know what? It's true. I think some people do it on the day of the fight because I think some people need to create an internal beef in their head.
So you have to actually go out.
Also to force them to train. When they're training, they have to create something in their head because some people can just get up and train all day long. Some people need that. They have to create some sort of
stigma in their mind.
They have to create something like, this fella's causing arguments with him, so then they hate, and it helps them train.
Fury used to be like that. He used to get in their heads.
Yeah,
and he done that with Wilder.
There's that aspect as well. If if someone's being like that, I've thought people. For my second fight, bloke's come out. He's come up to me, and I met him before the fight in Aldershot, and he's gone, "Am I fighting you? Am I?" I was like, "Yeah, I've just come out of prison." I was like, all right, lovely. Turns out, I think he only come out for a little bit. I'd just come out 3 years. So I was like, oh, mate, yeah, no worries. But he turned out to be a really lovely fella. But before the fight, I think he needed to create that sort of drama, that tension. It helped him in the fight. to me, I don't care. I could be your best friend. If we fight, we fight. You're trying to punch me in the head. I don't need any extra motivation.
Yeah.
I don't need to know. Someone's like, you got to get angry. He's punching me. I'm going to be...
What sort of boxer are you? Orthodox?
Not a very good one. No. No, I'm orthodox. I can fight both ways. Going forward on the back foot. Usually around my weight, no one's really stronger than me. I think when I won the unlicensed British title, I knocked the fella out in 76 seconds. So I've got a bit of a punch to me as well.
Yeah,
that was lucky.
Yeah.
No, I took that fight at 2 days' notice.
Wait.
Yeah, no, I was in a pub. I was in a pub. I was drinking. And someone's phoned me up. He said, again, like the first fight, someone's phoned me up. I said, Danny, would you fight for the British title in 2 days? And again, in your head, no. Or at least ask his name so I can YouTube him first. As a stupid idiot, you say yes, and you're thinking crap. I remember getting there, and he was 6'4". I looked at his YouTube. He'd won every bloody fight except for one, but I even thought he won the fight that they gave me. I'm thinking, I'm done here. Generally, I've never thought I'm in trouble. Knocked him out in 76 seconds. He's gone down. I'm going, please don't get up. Please don't get up.
But you're a bit like a secret fighter that nobody's heard of, but you're proper good at fighting.
I can fight. You put me in a room with anyone, I'll fight.
It seems like you're like, no, but I'll just jump in there.
Yeah.
You seem to just do them.
I won that fight, and obviously I had to defend the title, and I won that with a knockout in 81 seconds. Then after I lost to a very good fighter, Danilo Worsfold, who become a British Bareknuckle on BKB. He fought and beat. He's a British champion there in a minute, so he was a... Do you know what that was? I lost to this Ukrainian, and before he was a late replacement. Yeah. But so I'm waiting to go to the ring, and they're introducing him, and they're going Danilo, and they go kickboxing champion of Kiev, boxing champion of Ukraine, and it kept going on, and I'm going crap. Like bare knuckle fight. I'm going. And no one's told me about it. As the intro's going on, I'm going, oh, crap. And I think the night before that fight was England versus America football. I was out till about 4 a.m. I was hungover as it was, and I think, oh, no, really, I could do without this. Yeah. But I lost that fight, and just no.
What is your record?
I have no idea. I've won more than I've lost. I really...
Yeah.
I ain't got a clue.
You seem to just take any fight.
Yeah.
What made you go and do BKB then?
Oh,
you've only done one fight at that so far, haven't you?
More. Yeah. I fought a former 2-time world champion at BKB.
Yeah,
he's one of the best who's ever done BKB. And obviously, at the minute, I've got a bit of notoriety. He beat me, but I broke his jaw.
Yeah, I see that.
And he's an absolute animal, the fella. BKB was the most fun I've ever had.
Really?
I loved it.
Do you like it?
Oh, mate,
I can see it in his face, isn't it?
Honestly, that was like carnival.
Is that starstruck, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was like carnival.
I reckon you loved the fight.
Nah, that BK, it's a small little triangle ring, and you've got these little wraps that don't cover anything, and you're going, oh, this is... And I was backstage beforehand, and someone's just finished their fight, and they're getting stitched up, and you're looking, you go, oh, crap. It was so fun. I loved every second of it. And the company itself, Jim Freeman, Joe Brown, they treat you so well over at BKB. And I loved every second of it.
That's really all you want in the company, though. The fighters are starting to get a little bit more.
There are certain companies and promoters that really, really look after the fighters. Yeah. I mean, they know that. Listen, I mean, there are some promoters that want to be heard over everyone, and they want to steal the show. You're not. Your fighters are the ones,
of course,
that do the business.
Well, there wouldn't be a show without the fighters. Really,
you've got some promoters that think it's all about them. It's not.
So you're fighting on the Right to Fight card.
Right to Fight. Yeah. There's.
So can you tell us a little bit about that, because they're new.
It's really. I think it's an app at the minute. It starts off as a Right to Fight app.
And Tony's an ambassador.
Tony's. I think Tony's not only ambassador. I think Tony's part owner.
Okay. Shout out Tony.
Yeah, Tony Giles, but him and a bloke called Jesse. They've created they've created this app, and it's I think the concept behind it's brilliant. You basically you download the app.
Yep.
So if anyone wants to download the app, Right to Fight.
Yep.
Where can they find this? On the Apple Store.
It's on the Apple Store.
On the Apple Store. So Right to Fight.
Right to Fight. You download it, and it's got all the boxers that are part of the app, and you've got things like, I say, Shane Mosley, Victor Ortiz, and you can click on any one of them. You keep up to date with their training. It's like an Instagram for fighters type thing.
I think that's amazing.
So it's such a good concept.
Genius.
It really is. So any fighter who's on the app, there's obviously unlicensed fighters, bare knuckle fighters, professional fighters, and they're getting more and more people on it. So you basically just download the app, you pay a couple of quid, and if you go, look, I want to see this person's training. So instead of having to wait for someone being filmed, these people are uploading 3-4 videos a week, and it really, the concept behind it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that's quite. So
smart, for
it?
anyone out there who is a fight fan, download Right to Fight app on Apple Store.
I'll link that down.
The concept itself is absolutely amazing.
Put the link in the video. Yeah, definitely. I think that's amazing that they're doing that.
But they've obviously, I'm not sure whether to launch it or not. They've started off with these fight cards, and the fight card at the O2 is just. I mean, Shane Mosley.
The fight card looks juicy.
There's David Curse. I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but he's called the Real Viking Samurai. He's got quite a big.
No, I've seen this thing. Yeah,
you got Armstrong Martins fighting Matt Tyler Floyd, Ellis Shepherd, who's been on this channel himself. Ellis fighting Joe Elmore. They're both good bare knuckle fighters. He's a great fighter. Love watching him fight.
Shout out Ellis.
He's a lovely, lovely bloke as well.
Hands are steel.
Yeah, he's a lovely, lovely bloke. But he comes from the whole family. They're great bot the Dossets. But Ellis is a terrific fighter, so he's fighting on the card. Obviously, me, I'm going to steal the show.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm felicitating.
I think he will as well.
I don't
something about him. He's like, I don't really care, but
we're stealing the show
on
stage and off stage.
He looks like someone from Love One, but you know what else I thought he looks like? Well, he sort of staring.
Don't say Martin from EastEnders.
No, Tom Hardy.
Yeah, a little bit. He does. Yeah,
Venom.
Camera right on even from Mobland.
Yeah, well, listen, I'd love to claim that one, but
you do.
You don't really get any other celebrity lookalikes.
Martin from EastEnders years ago.
He looks like Venom.
Not for. I think I had a pair of orange swim shorts once, and someone called me Peter Andre from the Mysterious Girl video. None of them are compliments. Not that there's anything wrong with looking at Peter Andre. He's a handsome man, but I don't get too many compliments. It's usually an insult when someone says, "Do you know who you look like?"
Yeah, bloody hell. All right, well, that's perfect. It's been great to sort of have you on, really.
Oh, listen, honestly, it's an absolute pleasure, and
it's a bit of a.
Well, I get to do a podcast with my brother.
Appreciate that.
And look, for me, I'm aware how lucky I am to get to do these things. This is.
No, we really value having you on as well. I didn't know anything. I just met you. I
still picture myself that people actually want to listen to what I've got to say, and it's
of course.
It's weird because I've been telling these same stories in pubs for 20 years, and no one fucking listened to me then.
That's why we like doing the pods, because not only can we bring guests on as such, we're also giving you a platform.
And
to speak.
Do you know what the whole thing? It's surreal. I'm never going to get used to the fact that. We're going here. We're going to film a podcast. It's the whole thing surreal to me. People want to watch you and listen.
You'll get more of that.
Well, my daughter thinks I'm famous. She goes, "When are you going to go?" And I'm a celebrity. There's a couple of issues.
Love Island. Love Island.
I've got a missus. Hold on, let me phone her. She's dumped. They're going on Love Island.
They're going to have to do couples Love Island.
I don't think that works the same.
You might even get a Tom Hardy duplicate.
I'll get in the OAP version of it.
Hook him up with Sean Cronin. Getting his next villain.
In the acting industry.
Let's go acting.
Someone will come get you from the show probably after you've had your fight.
I'll be
after you win, they'll be like, I'll
be Tom Hardy's stunt double.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
You're the Wally, go jump out this window, and I'll be like, all right, just like I went with boxing. Okay.
So you said the fight in July the 25th. That's boxing.
That's boxing. Yeah.
Have you got any BKB fights lined up at all?
No, they've got one on July the 5th in Bolton. I'm hoping. Obviously, it's such a popular company, but. They've said that they'd like me back, and I'd love to.
Nice.
Listen, Jim and Joe, I'm at the end of a phone for them. That was the most fun I've ever had. So they called me. They said, if they phone me up now, I said, do I want to fight tonight? Yes.
Would you ever go for a title?
I'd fight for anything.
That's a bit of a dumb question. I don't even know what I asked that question.
Any of it.
It's like you just start wrestling as well. WWE.
You don't even think about it. You're just like, I'll just do it.
Do you know what? I ain't had a dull moment in my life ever since I was born. I don't like that. I want to look back and hopefully be able to remember it, not be too. Do you know what it is, bro? The more I box, the bigger my nose keeps. I keep getting it busted. And I was on a plane to Germany, and I had my boxing gloves with me, and a woman goes, "Oh, you don't look like a boxer." And then she's gone, "Wait, the nose." I'm going, "All right, you prick." Saucy cow. So I should stop before that gets completely ruined, but listen.
What would you like to have more? When you get more fights in the UK or more fights abroad? Do you find the fights abroad a bit more fun?
Yes, that's surreal in itself. Like, you get picked up at airport with someone, Danny, boxer, that's me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And but you don't really. I was supposed to go to Amsterdam the other week, but it got cancelled, which was a shame. They pick you up at the airport. You take Friday you go to a press conference. Saturday you fight. Sunday morning we're literally.
You're like an underground fighter who's going to start getting his name. I think that's amazing. I love.
Listen, I mean, I'd fight anything, but for me, if I had one choice, I know I'm actually contracted to Right to Fight for. I think they have an option on me for quite a few, like 6 fights.
Yeah.
So that's my future in a minute.
Oh, really?
But I'd love to fight BKB again.
Yeah, why not?
Bareknuckle for me was I loved everything about it. The show, the company, the fight.
Do you prefer fighting with bare knuckles and stuff?
Well, I prefer the excitement in it all, and there's so much more adrenaline, but it ruins your hands. My hands, I've busted me thumb and me knuckle and me fingers are not right from punching him in the head.
Yeah.
And obviously his jaw's still broken. It's such a brutal sport.
Yeah, no,
it doesn't lend itself well to actual having a job where you need your hands, which is, I'm pretty sure it's most jobs. But yeah, I'd love to do it again. Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Hopefully we'll see you on.
Hopefully more of you. Anyway, if we're going to come anyway, we're going to film some behind the scenes content anyway.
Yeah.
Just drop in the link so we can.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch after this, and
definitely.
Well, I want to thank you for having you on.
I appreciate it.
Honestly,
Thank you.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you got a little bar as well.
Listen, that's it. Do you know what? You've given me this bar or so beforehand, and you look at it, the quality's brilliant.
Yeah.
The smell of this, for anyone who wants to get one of these bars or so, how do they order this?
Order online. I'll drop the link in the bio.
I mean, honestly, from going outside just to getting the bar out, the quality's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be rubbing my bollocks with that later on.
Don't forget the new bars.
Fight Club, there we go.
We've got a little promo code on there. It's the Right to Fight. On to buy his channel there.
Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Danny Worsfold, appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Brother.
Yes.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Appreciate it.